Good afternoon, everyone. It is the first time that I address you. As President pro tempore of the bloc, it is so the first time that I even pronounce it badly. I want to take this opportunity to resume the diagnosis, which I offered them a while ago, and, in the light of this diagnosis, expose, before you, the exploration horizon that this body will have during our presidency. A regional common market is an instrument at the service of economic development of its member countries. Countries form it freely with the aim of paying a revenue, particular, to each one. It is not an unalterable imposition, it is a freely chosen instrument. That definition has to be the starting point of any analysis. This means two things. First, that, like any instrument, it has to be constantly subject to scrutiny to see if it works or not, whether it yields the promised or not. Inertia and conformity are not an option because use of every instrument always implies the opportunity cost of not using another. The roads that one takes were valued or bad also collection the value of the unrepmed roads. Secondly, it also means that it cannot have static rules and determinations. If its standards are pernicious, it must be possible to change them, depending on what the instrument users, the signatory countries, need. That is, this instrument must be soft and malleable, otherwise his own rigidity ends up breaking it. For this reason, at this regional time, our pro tempore presidency will be characterized by recovering this critical spirit, the spirit of understanding, Mercosur, as a perfectible instrument, not to settle for the inertia of the status quo and do our best to improve it. I think I speak for everyone when I say that, for a long time, Mercosur, as it works today, brings us more problems than solutions. But now I am going to speak for me and the 47 million Argentines, not as president pro tempore of the bloc, but as one of its members. Argentina has been destroyed by economic shamanism of our predecessors. Look at any Argentine historical series. We have the same GDP per capita as in 2007. We do not generate a single job from the private sector 10 years ago, and we have 10 times poorer than 50 years ago. That is, we need to grow, and this is urgently. We need to market urgently. We need to capitalize urgently. We need to import and export urgently to Paraguay, Brazil, Uruguay, yes, but also with the rest of the region and with everyone. Mercosur represents only 1.6% of world trade. We cannot turn our backs on the rest of the world, we cannot have that luxury. For us to release the suffocating corset, Mercosur, it is not a mere preference as a necessity, and allow me to clarify that for you too, since increasing our trade makes us better customers and better suppliers. That is why our vocation is to take a helm. In our pro tempore presidency we will seek to leave behind a stage characterized by the mere administration of agreements, excess regulations and difficulty implementing norms, which slow intrable trade and with the rest of the world. We want to check the common external tariff, which is excessively high. We are the only commercial bloc that, in the last decade, did not lower tariffs. Do not believe that there is no relationship between this data and our few commercial results. Therefore, we will present a proposal to adjust the common tariff and international standards, ensuring a more competitive insertion in global markets. And beyond the definitions around the common tariff, our presidency will explore a regime of greater flexibility and commercial autonomy for the members of the bloc, so that each one can establish trade agreements that are convenient for them, so that each country can determine how far and how far not echoes the needs of their own population, understanding that the bloc benefits from the benefit of their members and not only does it necessary well. The triple border has become a strainer for narco-terrorist bands, which expand their stains of influence in the region every day. To address this crisis, Argentina has proposed the formation of an agency to follow the bands in its criminal actions. It will be agile, modern in methods and resources, and non-bureaucratic. This agency will have researchers from all countries who will study the bands trying to dominate our territories. In summary, less para-air inclusive obstacles to trade inside doors, more freedom to trade on, and more collaboration in the persecution of the narco. Succinct and to the point, those are our goals. Without more, I want to thank President Lacal Pu again for being the host of this meeting, congratulating the President-elect Yamandu Orsi, and expressing my enthusiasm for the transformations which we want to undertake. I hope to have the good faith of all of you. The reality is that we have two paths. Or we accept that Mercosur does not work and we dissolve it, which is not the will of the Argentine government, or we adapt it to be functional to the current needs of its members. This second alternative, of course, requires intellectual honesty and predisposition to change. My Minister of Economy, a few days ago, said there are times in history where history changes. We are used to reading about those moments in textbooks. Then we assume that we cannot live it, that the present is static, and that making history is something that always happens in the past. And, nevertheless, the great story was made, and was made by mere men like us, not by gods. That is precisely the freedom of man, in being able to leave the determinism of our past and do something different, be architects of our own destiny. I want to invite them to do that. We exercise that freedom, which is the most precious gift we have, and that we dare to leave determinism and make great history once again. Thanks a lot.